What is up, guys? Crixus here with a new video, and today I want to talk about the hotfix DH Games introduced to the game today. One of the biggest fixes they have done in recent times, and one of the more interesting ones, I have to say. I want to give you a little bit of the backstory. Many players saw the message in game new adjustment, the 8 Trigrams Furnace event. Dear Islas, we added 300 Lucky Fulu to the 8 Trigrams Furnace event. Please check the adjustment in the event. We appreciate your support and wish you all the best for the new year. Many players couldn't do anything with this message, had no idea what this even means. We're going to talk about this in this video, and we're also going to talk about the reasons for it, because this is quite interesting. I was actually preparing this video yesterday before this fix and wanted to talk about the problem, because there was a huge problem and it was actually quite horrible. And they fixed this now. This is now fixed. This basically got a happy end with this message. Let me show you what they did. It all centers around this event, this 8 Trigrams Furnace event with this Samadhi fire in the middle. This event, in a similar form, was already in the game quite often. The way this works is you basically have a material from the story, from the event, Samadhi fire it is called. You draw here, and there is a certain chance that you basically reveal a pattern or multiple patterns that are all associated with the bit of loot. So if we check this out, lucky records, those are, for example, the patterns that I draw. We can see I draw the green one here, blue one, and then like this purple horse or whatever it is, and this is associated with Stella. So what happens when I draw that was I got the Stella, and then this is a lucky record, and it is associated with this pattern, and every day they draw 9 patterns in this event. Looks like this. 9 patterns are drawn, and if my pattern is within those patterns that were drawn, then it shows lucky break, and that means that this goes to the bonus rewards, and I get it basically again. At the base form I get it again, but if you check out the goal rewards, there are actually multipliers to this. So this can times 5 my bonus rewards, and we can see my current bonus rewards. Looks quite juicy. Those are the 75k Stella, so there's no extra Stella, but it gets multiplied times 5, so it ends up being 375k. This is one of the most expensive events in the game, because the thing is, we spent 800 bucks on this event. We are at around 54 Fulu of Spirit. This event ends at 150, and the crazy thing about this is, at one point you basically can't go any further within like the regular event resources, because you have exhausted all the packs, and then you get further by just getting VIP XP. So this event heavily incentivizes you to spend even on packs that are not associated with the event. And DH Games has gone above and beyond in this event to reward more loot. This used to end at like 100 with this times 10 multiplier. And then they added the A- score at 125, and now they have gone one step further since New Year. This event was last happened at New Year, and they've gone one step further and added this A core at 150, and I saw at least 1 or 2 people getting this even. So absolutely mad, absolutely insane. At this point, you basically spend around 5,000-6,000 on this event. On this event, basically. It means you need like every pack in the game. It's mad. So, even more so, it's very important that this event also has appropriate rewards. Otherwise, well, why would you spend on it? And usually, this event used to be very, very good. Used to give you a lot of rewards. The problem was that this time around, I didn't initially notice that they changed the rules for this. They changed the rules for this in comparison to the last time, and we are going to go in depth about what they did. But first, let's look at what happened really. So this is the loot after today's patch that basically fixed the issue. It's quite nice loot. I'm happy with that. We have some star spawn mats, we have a ton of Stella, we have some other stuff here, 3000 contract story gems, I don't mind that. A little bit of Aurora gem shard, we have about a third of a star soul, and about half a core. So it's pretty decent actually. And if you have, of course, double the amount of Fulu spirit, you expect at least double the amount of loot, maybe if you're lucky even more. But before today's patch, this didn't look like this, which is a normal amount of loot. It looked like this. And what I didn't know about this is actually my loot from this morning before we got the hotfix. Maybe the screenshot is from yesterday. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But this was the same loot. I didn't get any more loot today. So this was the thing. And then they released the hotfix and buffed the loot. This was sad. And what I didn't know was I was lucky. I thought I was unlucky at this point. Just got unlucky. I mean, you can get unlucky. It might, maybe your patterns just aren't drawn. Can happen. But what I didn't know is that this was actually a lucky amount of loot. And I asked some other players. I saw initially some post on Reddit, and I commented on that post. So the post was this by ESTSN. I did something like 89 of these, all free dailies and 50 bought for gems. I've got 14 of the lucky rewards, but nothing in the bonus. So basically, I think that is like a free-to-play route. Same for my alt account, so that's about 180 pulls without matching a single pattern. You can see his bonus rewards are empty, no loot in there. And I commented at a few things, but compared to previous version of this event, it wasn't quite that great. And a lot of people wrote here that they aren't really happy. General consensus on guild is better, that this event is bad. Previous events gave lots of bonus rewards, but so people really hate this. And at that point, I noticed, okay, maybe it's not just me that is really unhappy about this event. Maybe there are other people too. And that was when I asked on my SG Hub channel, by the way, join SG Hub. We are going to launch a new giveaway in the very near future. Maybe not this week, maybe not the next, but probably within like the next month there will be a new giveaway. So definitely check out the description. Join SG Hub for best starry gems in Idle Heroes, cheapest prices, best servers. You know the drill. But there I asked, and this was sent to me. Was sent to me by Captain Deadpool, and he said, "Well, this is what Fitch got." I was looking at it and I was like, okay, 20 Star Soul materials. I mean, this is kind of nice. Some Star Soul mats there, 10 bucks, pretty cool. Until I noticed that's multiplier times 10. And multiplier times 10, if you already forgot. Yeah, that's the big one. That's this one at 100 draws. So, turns out, I think he said it was like 104 draws. And around 4,000 USD spent. 4,000 USD spent for this, which is crazy. And the even crazier part is that the dude had a comparison. He had a comparison because they did the same event, I think it was, that looks like Christmas last year. And yeah, it looks a little bit different. It's also times 10 is a similar amount of money spent. I think this is 10% more. But the difference in loot is staggering. Like, I mean, I don't even have to say, oh, look at this stack is a little bit bigger. No, it's more. It's like not even only that the stacks are bigger because those are like 2 drops or something that you got on the other one. It's just like there were like 8, 9, 10 things missing on the other shard, and here we have some proper stacks. Look at that. That is really, really nice. So like multiple Star Souls. We got all the materials in there. 5 million Stellar. This is something where you're really happy. This will give him depression because he will have to reroll a ton of Star Spawns to get rid of those stuff. But yeah, this is crazy. And then we had the example from Captain Deadpool himself. We can see 102 Full of Spirit obtained. And yeah, for that amount of money spent, which I reckon is probably also around the $4,000 mark, you got this, or he got this. Keep in mind, times 10 loot, so those are 2 loot drops. Those are 2 loot drops. So it's 1 time Destiny mats, 1 time sublimation chest. So it's not like he dropped like 5 sublimation chests or something. It's not what happened. It dropped a single time. So yeah, that was the problem that we had here, and we have no comparison to another event, of course, but you just saw it. He also sent me what happened after the patch, and that is really the staggering part, because this is like really cool. Take a look at this. Bam. It's just like before the patch, after the patch, before the patch, after the patch. We can see like the Destiny mats here alone, the orange mats 4 times as high because like 3 extra rewards there. And then on the sublimation chests, rather even, we got 2 extra, and then all the other stuff came there. So the question is now, what happened? And for that, the first thing I want to show you is the help text, because that is what, well, we didn't really check out in before we got into all of this. And the way this works, the way this event this time works, is fairly similar to the other ones, with one very major difference. We consume somebody fire, and cooking each time produces 3 elixirs. Each of them has a 40% chance of absorbing Zodiac aura and becoming a Zodiac elixir. So essentially, you get, once you put any of those fires in there, you get 3 elixirs, and each of those has a 40% chance to become one of those you want. So it's 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.4 for it to become one of those Fulu of Spirits. This ends up being around a 6.4% probability for you to get a Full of Spirit from just like putting in one Samadhi Fire at any given time. There is also a pity timer in this. Once again, every 11th one is guaranteed to be a Zodiac Elixir. So that is the thing. The major difference, and like the first part, is really the same for all the events that we saw before. That is pretty much the same. That is, we will see another example of the same event in a second, and you will see this first part that stays the same. So that is not the reason we now have those problems. And the difference is here. It becomes the Zodiac Elixir with one of the 12 Zodiac animal patterns on it. So we have 12 different patterns right here. So we can see there are so many different ones that we got here. 12 different patterns. And the rule is they can't repeat themselves. So basically, if you have one of those patterns in slot 1, then there are only 11 for slot 2 left that they can be, and then there are only 10 there. And this also gives you the total amount of patterns that you can get, which is 12 times 11 times 10. So 1,320 different patterns were in the game. 1,320 different patterns. So 1,300 different possible combinations of this, following the rule that no single pattern here, so no symbol can repeat itself within a pattern. So that leaves us with 1,320 patterns. And I mean, on the other side, we have the amount of patterns that are actually pulled. And if you check those out, it's 7 days and 9 on every single day. So overall, that gives us a full amount of patterns drawn. As I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is just 7 times 9, which is 63. So 63 patterns actually got drawn. And so 63 out of 1,320. And now knowing that, let's get into some RNG calculation. Because actually this guy Crixus, he sent me a message, he showed me screenshots, he showed me the data, and what he did was he made a little calculator for those simulations, for those events, for this event basically. And what this calculated, I will break it down very quickly for you, the expected amount of bonus rewards for completing a full event, 150 out of 150 lucky pulls. Which of course references to this 150 out of 150. So if you really go for all max, times 10 and even A tier core, so this is the point where that's like 6,000 USD spent. If you go to this point, you can expect 7.19 bonus rewards. So 7.19 actual draws from the 150 patterns that you got. And that can really be anything. So if you check this out, it's like 7 of those things. So you can get like some Stellar, you can get some Crystal of Transcendence. If you're unlucky, you get like a bit of Crystal of Transcendence, and that's really it. And you get 7 of those things. And of course, they would be multiplied by times 10. So it would be like one drop could be 750k Stellar, which, I mean, 750k Stellar can be a lot, but really not really an equivalent to I spent $6,000 on this event. This is not really what you expect at that level. So the problem, and now we have to take a little bit of a detour. Okay, let's take a look at another event. This is last CNY, where we actually did the live stream still on my main channel. And we see the same rules here. You can obtain 3 coins, it was back then. The gold coins had a probability of 40%, and you needed 3 gold coins. So it is the same structure, you understand that, like the rules before. And then we have a pattern that appears, and those patterns, that was like the big difference here. Because there weren't that many. I mean, they could repeat themselves, you can see that right here, but there were actually only 4 different symbols with different combination. So this ends up being just like 4 times 4 times 4, which is of course way easier, and is just 64 different combinations. And I mean, we had less combinations being pulled. Once again, every day combination was pulled, but it was only 1. So 7 out of 64 combinations got pulled. Which means those that we pulled around 10.9% of all possible patterns. 10.9% of all possible patterns were pulled. In comparison, in the new version of the event, only 4.8% of all the patterns were pulled. Meaning, even though we pull way more patterns right here. I mean, 9 a day in comparison to 1 a day. The way higher number of patterns that we have, which is 64 on the old version, 1320 on the new version, that didn't fit together. They actually screwed this up. I can't say it any different. It should have been way more. If we wanted to keep the same ratio of patterns being pulled, so the 10.93% that we know from the old event version, we would have needed to pull around 144 patterns. So 90, no, it wasn't 90, 81 more than we did this time around. So we didn't even pull half the patterns needed, which explains why the loot was so bad. Astonishingly enough, the fix that they implemented for this it is quite insane. I don't know. I don't know if they had a few more bugs behind the scene, because the fix in the end seems quite excessive. I mean, essentially, you would have the same performance of the events if you just added 81 pulls to the existing ones. But what they did was, and we can take a look again, we added 300 Lucky Fulu. So if you haven't seen this already, if we go into the details, we can see the lucky post of every single day. It's 9 every single day. So if we scroll down, 9, there is another date and 9. And now on the last date, it's actually crazy because they added 300 drawn combinations. So this goes on for a while. 300. On top of the 63 we already pulled, which was the regular ID of the event, they added 300. Absolutely crazy. So we are no longer at the 144 and the 10.9% of patterns drawn. Now it's 363 patterns drawn out of 1,320 in total, bringing us to around 27.5% of all patterns drawn. And nonetheless, I can't happen to notice that it doesn't seem as good as I would have thought it would. Because this is essentially, this event is 3 times better than the version we had last year by now. But it still doesn't feel that great. It doesn't look as if this is 3 times as good. So I'm a bit skeptic. I didn't find any additional bug, but I kind of feel like there might be one. So can't really say. Nonetheless, I think this was a very good fix by the age. I mean, it was obviously a big value thing to do. It helped the whales and the free-to-play actually to an equal extent, because, well, everybody now had a higher chance to pull some loot. Even the free-to-play should have gotten some. So that is really, really nice. And yeah, overall, can't really complain about this fix. One interesting thing that, while really taking a look at this event, that I noticed a little bit was the value of this kind of decreased over the time. Because I remember this event being super great when it launched for the first time. At that time, I mean, we obviously didn't have any DT mats in there. We didn't have any Star Soul collection chest. I mean, I don't know if we had cores at that point even. So it was definitely a whole lot different. Now we have like all of this loot in here. And I mean, it's certainly good that the new items get introduced to this event, which I mean, this is great. The problem is, now the outdated stuff kind of dilutes the pool, because now if you pull Starspawn cores as a big whale, and I mean, like 99% of the spending, especially on this event, is done by big whales. Let's not fool us. Those are the guys getting like the 150 points, which is crazy spending. 6k on an event. Who spends that? Not me. Definitely not me. Maxing this is absolute lunatic level. I will tell you that. Like, I don't see the reason you would do that. I'm a big spender, but I would consider myself like, I want to have value. I want to have value. I don't see it here. I don't see it. It's like, if you really want to go and get absolutely everything, then you spend for this. This is last resort spending, something like this. And I really don't see it. But the problem with this event really is that we have those old items in here. We have the Starspawn cores, we have the Stellar, we have the Crystal of Transcendence, even the Spiritual Essence, I would now say, kind of no longer the thing for whales. Most cores are horrible. And like, when this was first released, this was all not in the loot pool. And now you get those old things, and I mean, you don't really mind getting a Starspawn core because you get to reroll your Starspawns a little bit, which is cool. But in the end, the event gets weaker if you keep the old stuff in there. So maybe this is something the Age could also think about if we really still need the Starspawn cores and if Crystal of Transcendence has to be in there, because the times where players are like hyped to build 5S models, they are certainly over. It's now more about having one hero that you can really focus on, that has a decent bit of attack and has like super big amounts of resources focused on him, much more so than it is about building multiple celestial heroes. Okay, we are back to AFK Journey. Transcendence heroes, multiple transcendence heroes. That is no longer the case. I vividly remember the times where we took a look at the Hossi's account on Jesus' YouTube channel, and we were all amazed by how he had 5 copies of Vessar, or like 10 times S-Model or something crazy like that. And today this would be absolutely worthless. Yeah, put those all in your team. Who cares? Like, it gets destroyed by any single hero with a bit of power on there. So really those times are a bit over. Maybe time to rethink the event. Certainly not in the structure they did there. It is quite amazing to me how they managed to screw that up. I have no idea. Like, the initial version was so bad of this event. You should have known. I mean, these chances have to stay the same. You can change the mechanics around. Though, why? Why did they even do that with all of those symbols, and then they have to recalculate? I would have reskinned this entire event. I think nobody would have minded if they just said, okay, we had like 4 different symbols in the last one. We just give them maybe a little bit of a design. We take this one, this one, this one, and this one, put them in there, take the same code, just change out the images, and the players will be happy. Nobody really cares. This could be 1, 2, 3, and 4. I wouldn't care. It's just about you getting the lucky record, getting your bonus rewards, and for every raid, it's just like seeing this big stash of rewards grow. And in the end, you want to have like a big email in the game where you get all of this stuff and are happy that you can progress your account, which this will not help me do at all, by the way. I keep stocking up on those cores, by the way. I don't know. Like, no idea what I'm going to do with those. Take a look at this, like a core chest. Some of those are like big core chests. So it's not all like one shots. Some of those are actually, yeah, look at this. It's 2 full cores. 4 of them. I don't know what to do with them. No idea. And like in every single event, 5 core shards and 106 is completely useless. I don't know what to do with this. Eventually I can build like the second DTV, but as I said, second and third Transcendence heroes, maybe as a tenant, but not more than that. So, yeah. Tell me what to think about this event. Did you think that DH found a good solution here? Subscribe to the channel. 70% of players unsubscribe to this channel. Or, well, are not subscribed, I should say, to this channel. It's not okay. So click the subscribe button. And other than that, I wish you a great day. And we'll see us soon for a Wukong video. I want to do a Wukong video.